Gaza, Hamas fighters are crawling out of tunnels and surrendering. In Istanbul, they're welcomed with open arms. And in New York, the Arab world just turned on them. For the first time, Arab leaders, Western powers, even Donald Trump are saying it out loud. Hamas must go. This is a turning point, and it's unfolding faster than anyone expected. In a significant development from northern Gaza, a group of Hamas operatives surrendered to Israeli troops from the Givati Brigade in the Beit Hanoun area on August 2nd, emerging from a tunnel shaft before being taken into custody. The Israeli military confirmed the surrender and said the fighters were immediately interrogated in the field.
Hamas's Beit Hanoun Battalion has surrendered and been defeated by Givati Brigade troops.
During questioning, the operatives revealed they had intended to flee after one of their comrades was killed in a firefight with Israeli forces inside the tunnel system. Following their surrender, the militants led troops to a nearby weapons depot. Israeli forces recovered a large cache of arms, including tactical vests, ammunition magazines, fragmented grenades, and firearms. Inside the tunnel, troops also discovered supplies intended for prolonged underground stays, such as food, water, and hygiene items. Israeli media reported that the surrendered fighters have since been transferred to security authorities for further interrogation. Meanwhile, Israeli combat engineers are mapping out the tunnel network ahead of its demolition. The IDF says the operation marks the defeat of Hamas's Beit Hanoun Battalion, a unit that had posed a persistent threat to Israeli communities like Niram and Sderot. Once estimated to have over 1,000 operatives, the battalion has now largely been dismantled. Many of its fighters have been killed or have fled. Its commander, Hussein Fayyad, is believed to be among those who escaped. The Givati Brigade, operating under the command of the 162nd Division, began its encirclement of the Beit Hanoun area after 5 Israeli soldiers were killed and 14 others wounded in a Hamas ambush involving multiple improvised explosive devices in early July. August 2nd's breakthrough came after months of repeated IDF operations in Beit Hanoun. According to military officials, this is the 5th major operation in the city since the beginning of the war. Much of Beit Hanoun has been heavily damaged or destroyed as a result of the fighting. Last week, during a tour of the area, the Givati Brigade commander estimated that only 4 or 5 Hamas fighters remained in the vicinity. Turkey has once again escalated its rhetoric against Israel, accusing Netanyahu government of committing genocide in Gaza and deliberately stalling ceasefire negotiations. The sharp comments came during a meeting in Istanbul on August 1st between Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan and a delegation from Hamas, led by senior official Muhammed Darwish. According to Turkish state media, Fidan accused Israel of using the ceasefire process as a tactic to wear down Palestinian resistance and forcibly displace civilians. Fidan reportedly told the delegation,
"By prolonging the ceasefire negotiations, Israel aims to break the resistance of the Palestinians in Gaza and force them to leave their homes."
He went further, alleging that Israel is actively pursuing a strategy to expel Palestinians from Gaza and annex the West Bank. The Hamas delegation, in turn, claimed that humanitarian aid to Gaza remains critically insufficient and accused Israel of demonstrating unwillingness to compromise in ongoing ceasefire and hostage negotiations. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan also weighed in, posting a defiant message on X shortly after the meeting.
We will embrace our Gaza brothers and sisters with love, hug each other, and, God willing, stand shoulder to shoulder to perform a prayer of gratitude together. Just as in Syria, we will, God willing, witness the end of oppression in Gaza, and we will surely reach those beautiful days. Everything will pass, this oppression will end, this blood will stop, this rubble will be cleared. God willing, Palestine will remain, standing tall in all its grandeur.
Erdogan lashed out at critics of his government's stance on Gaza, accusing them of hypocrisy. In an unprecedented shift, all 22 member states of the Arab League have jointly called on Hamas to disarm, release all remaining hostages, and relinquish control of the Gaza Strip. Moves they say are necessary for establishing a sovereign Palestinian state.
In the context of ending the war in Gaza, Hamas must end its rule in Gaza and hand over its weapons to the Palestinian Authority, with international engagement and support, in line with the objectives of a sovereign and independent Palestinian state.
Arab nations have, for the first time, united in urging Hamas to disarm and relinquish Gaza. Despite public support for Palestine, leaders are shifting under Western pressure. Qatar remains a mediator.
And even those who might sympathize with armed resistance would feel that Hamas must be eliminated militarily and politically for the West to be fully engaged in ending the occupation.
For the first time, Arab nations have collectively distanced themselves from Hamas, urging the group to disarm and relinquish control of Gaza. Despite past ties and public support for Palestine, leaders are shifting amid rising Western pressure. Meanwhile, Qatar, a key mediator, continues to host Hamas's political leadership. Even US President Donald Trump said on July 31st that to end the Gaza conflict, Hamas must surrender.
The fastest way to end the humanitarian crises in Gaza is for Hamas to surrender and release the hostages.
Hamas's initial response was cautious and indirect. In a statement on July 31st, the group welcomed any effort to support Palestinian rights, but demanded unconditional international recognition of statehood. It did not address the disarmament call directly, instead asserting,
"The Palestinian situation is an internal affair of our people."
Hamas further used the occasion to renew calls for reforming the Palestine Liberation Organization and holding national elections. Moves critics say are often used to delay meaningful change while preserving their grip on Gaza. The three-day UN conference, co-hosted by France and Saudi Arabia, drew representatives from 125 countries. Israel and the United States were quick to reject the conference, branding it premature. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has argued that such declarations only embolden Hamas and jeopardize Israel's security, especially as hostilities and hostage situations continue. Hamas echoed those sentiments in its own statement, condemning parts of the declaration that called for regional normalization with Israel.
Talk about integrating the Zionist entity into the region as a reward to the enemy for its crimes.
Central to these efforts is the New York Declaration, a phased roadmap for ending the decades-long conflict and establishing a Palestinian state. UN member states now have until September to endorse the proposal.